Hello, Internet Infantry and Goldberg fans galore, and welcome to this. This is your, sadly, weekly WWE Monday Night Raw review. Wrestling Ranton is my guest for today, and I'm looking forward to breaking down Raw with him. But before we do, Wrestling here, do you give the show a win? Do you give the show a loss? Do you give the show a tie? Internet Infantry listening, please put in the comments, do you give the show a win, loss, or tie, and thoughts on the show. And we're actually going to do this differently. We're actually going to talk about the Goldberg, then break down Raw, because I'm thinking, quite frankly, no one really gives a shit about anything else that happens. So if we give them the Goldberg stuff, and then they're happy. So win, loss, or tie first.
Well, for me, I will say it definitely was a weak win. I say it's a weak win. The Goldberg stuff at the end definitely helped that out. Definitely saved it. Excitement-wise, there were some good things, some good interviews, and there were a couple of decent matches tonight. So I guess it's a weak win for me. I wasn't irritated like I usually am watching Raw. So we'll put it that way.
Dude, this show to me, I love the Goldberg. By the way, Goldberg segment got, if I could rate a segment, I'd give it 5 stars. Fucking brilliant. But the rest of the show, I was legitimately watching Lucha Elite instead of the show pretty much half the time. I missed a whole entire match because I got too emotionally attached to one match. Right? I'm not even, it just bores the shit out of me. So before we break down the show properly, what were your thoughts of this Goldberg promo?
Well, you know, and I tweeted it out a little bit before. Goldberg is, again, from I guess I was in my late teens, early 20s when he was doing his thing back in 97, 98, 99. He was never known as a good promo guy. He didn't, actually, the first year, he didn't speak at all. Even in WWE, he wasn't a great promo guy. This is probably the best promo he ever gave in his entire wrestling career. And it just shows, again, the difference between guys from that era. Like we had talked about some other shows we had done about men and boys, and what you saw when Goldberg hit the ring, that's a man giving a promo about a fight with another man. You know, that's me all day. I like wrestling when it's dudes who want to kick somebody else's ass, and that's what we got tonight. It had energy, it had passion. He sounded like a dude. He sounded like a man. He didn't come out there, well, you know, Brock Lesnar, hey, you're next. No, you're next. You know, he's got that gravel, you know, that gravitas to him when he talks. So, yeah, I definitely miss promos like this. It was a pleasure to see this again. Great way for them to build up this match. And then, of course, as they announced at the end of the show, Lesnar's going to respond next week. So it already has this big fight feel to it.
Now, I'm pretty sure you were one of the many who were really worried about Goldberg coming out, having one long promo. You're like, oh my God, there's 10 minutes left, 15 minutes left. Oh my God, he's going to what's he going to do? That was fucking breathtakingly brilliant. It's a rare, like, I think I put on my Twitter, it's a rarity that, like, WWE especially touches me emotionally. It takes a lot to touch me emotionally, but when every syllable, every little gasp of air that came out of that man's mouth, you felt that he meant it. Like when he stood there and he's going like that and just wiping away his tears, it was just fucking brilliant. Like you could just feel that he really wanted to be there, and he wanted to be there nowhere else in the world. He wanted to be right there, and it was special. That'll be one of those moments where you'll be like, I remember where I was when I saw that. It will be one of them. That will be when they do the fucking Slammy Awards. That'll probably be the Raw moment of the year. That was fucking splendid. And at the end, him going, Brock, you're next, but you're last as well, was just fucking amazing. And the hook as well, leading into next week, was pretty damn good, considering they never fucking promote the next week's show. But we'll actually break down Raw now. So Raw, 17th of October, we were in, I think, Denver somewhere. Intro and pyro to start off. That makes me very, very happy. I hate it when we get these stupidly long 2-minute replays of what happened the week before. No, get me an intro, get me a pyro, get the crowd hot. And I like that. What are your thoughts on the intro and pyro instead of the usual shitty replay?
You know me and pyro. I don't care about the pyro. I think
that's a big touch though, because if a crowd's coming into watching a replay on the screen, they're like, yeah, but if it's pyro and intro, the music, the shine down music, can be yeah, raw.
Yeah, I get that, but you know, my thing about it is not that I don't think it should be there or isn't necessary. I just think that that's what some of the people today grade a wrestling show on, is whether or not it had pyro. I mean, I've heard this, so I'm not.
Dude, I'm not grading this show on whether it had pyro or not. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not talking about. No, I'm not talking about you, but I know, like I said, I went to a Raw earlier this year, and you had people there with just, the wrestling matches, they were looking at their phones, but as soon as Pyro went on, Pyro, music, okay, back to my phone, so I'm not knocking it. But I do agree with you. It's better than the video package openings, which are basically cold openings where you're not energizing the crowd at all. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's really fucking outrageous. But we'll get to the opening promo. So we had Kevin Owens and Jericho come out, loud Y2J chants. If they don't turn him babyface, they deserve to be shot, each and every one of them. Owens, he does a pretty decent, intense promo about how he'll end Seth's in-ring career. Jericho said he should be in a freeway. That brings that. He brings up in this promo, okay, something that it kind of like re-rattled my brain. He beat Rock and Austin at the same night at Vengeance 2001. Why the fuck he does not bring that up in every single promo he has ever done from that point onwards as a joke? He should be bragging about. In his funeral, it should be Chris Jericho, the man who defeated The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same night. Like, that's what it should be. Like, that should be his character, the guy who beat Rock and Austin the same night. And he doesn't do that, but who knows? Jericho puts the ref on this list. Seth Rollins comes out, and me and Sammy do a show every Sunday night. Sorry to be a dick for the VIPs, where we cover Monday Night Wars, and we're starting from January the 5th, 98, and work our way onwards. And we've been talking about Steve Austin being cool, badass motherfucker, and you name me one person who dislikes Austin. He's just so fucking good at being his character. Rollins is as cool as a Steve Austin as we're gonna get. Agreed? When he came out, he had the swagger.
On the Raw roster?
Yeah, on the Raw. So we'll talk about
on the Raw roster, yeah. Because I'm trying to think of anybody else. You're right. There's nobody else who really has that.
Of Reigns, but it's just epically failed.
That's not even close. In fact, Reigns needs to take a lesson from Goldberg tonight and learn how to cut a promo, for fuck's sakes. That's what you're supposed to be, Reigns.
Yeah, Reigns, go fuck yourself. You stupid piece of shit. Plug yourself, Rassin Ranted, quick, while I send the link to Sammy. I feel a bit rude here. Go on, Carol.
No, not a problem. Yeah, this is Rassin Ranton. You guys probably see me on Twitter, Facebook. I come on every once in a while with KocoSports, LK, and everybody else. We just put out the trying to get through 86. The Great American Bash 86 retrospective. So people are digging that. We also have new shorts. A lot of you guys are really having fun with this question about who the best tag team in the world is right now, the Revival or the Young Bucks. So check that out on my channel, which is Rasslin Ranton, RASSSLIN Ranton, on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere else. You definitely can check me out there and contribute to the conversation.
Indeed. Sammy, I apologize. We went literally on the air as you sent that Facebook message, and I literally, if it wasn't for me just checking my phone to check on the, because I did a tweet when lost a tie poll, I wouldn't have known, so I do apologize. I hope you didn't take offense to that, but I sent you the link as I saw the message.
So like I said, I was trying to get the kid in the bed because he's not feeling well, and so no, it's all good in the hood.
Awesome. Well, while we're there, what were your thoughts on the Goldberg?
Okay. Since we watched WCW yesterday, if we wouldn't have watched that, I'd still been really excited. But since we just got off that, and I felt like a fucking kid again. I was that 9-year-old kid being enthralled by Goldberg. I'm watching this with my two other friends. One of them my roommate, one of them my other really good wrestling friend. And we're all WCW guys, so we're just watching it like, just happy. It made me so giddy. If we wouldn't have watched WCW, I'd have been like, cool, that's pretty cool. But since we had just watched that, dude, I was just in the right frame of mind for it, and I was super excited.
Because it was strange. It was fucking weird how we just talked about Goldberg, wasn't it? Like a mere 24 hours ago. And now we're back saying how fucking awesome Goldberg is. It's really fucking strange. But anyway, back to review. We us unprofessional bastards. So Seth, I'll talk about that. Rollins says he should put Owens and Y2J's friendship on the list. Rollins then says he wants a rematch with Jericho. Jericho sends Kevin Owens to the back, but reminds him he is still his best friend. Opening promo a bit long, but it's Monday Night Raw, so you just get accustomed to that. So, gents, we'll start with Raston from the left. Thoughts on the opening promo?
I will give the caveat that I have not watched a full Raw in about 2 weeks, so this is my first full Raw since September. I actually didn't mind this promo. I was strangely entertained by Sparkle Crotch for some reason. It just made me, it just made me laugh. The fact that he kept calling him Sparkle Crotch and Sparkle Ass and then the goat thing and stupid idiot and the list. Jericho is he's just funny. He's just hilarious. Rollins played his part well. Owens played his part well. The little dissension. It was a good opening promo. They got a little loose with the language there. You even heard Kevin Owens saying that you can't say that word, all this kind of stuff. So, it was better than the usual opening promo of, hi, I'm out here talking. Oh, you don't like me. Oh, you don't like me. Oh, somebody else comes out. Guess what we're going to have? We're going to have a match tonight. Better than that.
I mean, if you're grading on that, it was fucking brilliant. 5 stars. Sammy, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, first off, Renton, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Doing all right. All is well with the world.
That was a good answer. You must be like, hey, I'm good. No, it's it's good to see you again. I'm kind of with Ranton. It served its purpose. I really like Jericho. I really like Owens. They're clearly teasing this breakup that's coming, and I'm fairly certain that it's going to cost Kevin Owens the title, which breaks my poor little heart. It was long. It was way too long for me, but could have been worse. I didn't mind it too awful much.
I didn't mind was the match, Rollins and Jericho. This is the 85th time we've seen this in the space of 4 months. I wish I was exaggerating. I think they wrestle in their hotels. This was decent. This was generally, I really, really enjoyed this. Jericho with a long walls of Jericho, Rollins scratching, calling to get the ropes. He finally gets the ropes. Kevin Owens comes out, distracts Rollins for a little bit, but Jericho goes to the code breaker. Rollins basically catches him, throws him in the air, boom kick, pedigree, gets the win. I enjoyed it, but I just feel we've seen this 18,000 times. I generally feel like this is the problem with all. Like, it's all good. It's just, we've already seen that. Oh, we've seen that. Oh, we've seen that. And throughout the show, what they do is the new theme for WWE, and this is what they do worst. I would say best, but what they do worst is if there's a match, whether it being a triple threat or a tag match, what they do is single matches to build to the match. And I think they're doing that here because I think there's going to be a 3-way like they announced on Raw. Decent match, though. We'll start with you this time, Sammy. What are your thoughts on the Rollins and Jericho match?
No, actually, I agree with you. I thought the match wasn't bad. I mean, I just finished telling one of my guys how I still find Jericho hellaciously entertaining. And again, we just came off that WCW review when he was just as entertaining back then. And there's a couple, I think, botch spots in here, or at least one where maybe the pace got away from him. But it looked good. The story was pretty good. And they do. And this is why, because you see so many of the same matches over and over and over and over, is why I don't mind enhancement talent and job matches. I think they absolutely serve a point, and I really, really like them here. But it's when you run a fucking TV show 52 weeks a year, you're just going to run into this, which is why I think they need to have a time off, cool down period like some of the other shows do to keep it fresh for when it does come back, but they're clearly not going to do that.
No, they're fucking not. Ranton, thoughts? Jericho, Rollins?
This was a pretty solid match. I knew it was a storyline match, though, but they did put some effort into it, because usually these storyline matches, because the storyline is obviously set up for Jericho to lose, Owens to cost in the match, and then drive conflict with them, which they got that across, and usually when WWE's done that in the past, they don't really put the effort into it, the actual match. But, of course, this is Jericho and Rollins, so they did put the effort into it. So I did enjoy it, served its purpose. Fine.
Then they show Goldberg's WCW debut against Bill DeMott. I like these video packages. I generally like them because it's to the person who hasn't watched WCW or doesn't know who Goldberg is, it kind of gives you a rough idea of who he was and what time frame he was around. I like them. Anyone have any problem with these video packages?
No, they were definitely necessary, and it's good for nostalgic purposes because those of us who were around at the time can go, oh yeah, that's right, I remember that. Although those were his big highlights, but yeah, the first build them on. I actually remember seeing that match, and it was like I remember legitimately being shocked because WCW at that time, for those who don't know, they were rolling out a lot of guys. that just kind of came in and they looked like they were going to be something and then didn't. And then he from the very beginning, you could tell he had a presence to him. And that still came across. And even at the end of the match, he does, that's number one. We didn't know at the time he was going to go on a streak. So it's funny to watch it back now and know that he knew that that was the first of 173.
Did you get that feeling when you watched John Nord's WCW debut?
No, nor the Renegades.
It's official. Me and fucking LK, huge John Nord marks. Just we're gonna love that guy and promote him as hard as we can.
Dude, this is why. Look, if VIP members just got that joke and they literally just pissed themselves. Subscribe now, dickheads. So then we have a sit-down interview with Charlotte and Lita. Charlotte comes across as an arrogant whore. Good job. Germany, good job. Germany, good job. I hated her, and that means she did her job well. And it promoted the Hell in a Cell match. Decent enough, why not? Wrestling first. Wrestling will go that way.
Go, Sammy.
See, to me, that way is you ranting.
Oh, I started the last one. All right, cool. All right, this is another thing that, like I said, this is why, I don't know, Sammy wasn't on, but I gave this show a weak win.
Okay.
This is kind of, it wasn't for wrestling purposes, but for them setting up the table for Hell in a Cell. And this is one of the things that I've always wanted them to do, is to do sit-down interviews that are more athlete-focused as opposed to trying to crack some shitty joke or punchline. This was you sitting and watching Charlotte. You got her perspective. I'm the queen. I'm Ric Flair's daughter. I'm the best. Yeah, Sasha's. Well, that too. Sasha's my Dusty, because they're doing this whole thing. Sasha's her Dusty Rhodes. Sasha and Charlotte are Rick and Dusty from back then, and that's how they're carrying this whole thing. And I love to sit down. I'm not too big on Lita doing it. I got a little chuckle when she's not a. She seemed a little. She kept trying to push like a storyline, and Charlotte seemed. I don't know if that. I mean, obviously it's a work, but it looked like Charlotte didn't want to engage with the little silly stuff. She kept asking her the same question over and over again. I did get a chuckle too with Lita mentioning Edge, and it brought back other memories of past wrestling. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You were the first whore.
Yeah, she's the original. She's the innovator.
You were the innovator of all that shit. My God. Yeah, but yeah, I have no problems with this. It's a great interview. I like it. They should do more of these more often, where you have sit-down interviews, and it feels, again, like these women are going to be in a competition to see who the best of the best is.
I liked it. I was decent. I was joking about calling her a whore, by the way. Everyone listening, when I say whore, it's just like me saying female. It's just how my vocabulary's turned. Thanks, Dave Koco. Sammy, what are your thoughts of the sit-down interview?
I mean, I liked it too. I don't have much more to add that Ranton really didn't already say. I would probably give this show a really weak win too, but I was probably a little more harsh on it than usual because, again, we just came off that WWE of that Raw where they were building for Royal Rumble, and that build was incredible, and that happened 20 fucking years ago. So, but I thought the attempt at a build was okay here, and it worked, and so the interview was pretty good. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say that Ranton hadn't already hit the nail. Okay. We apologize to all dyslexic people.
The reason why he was speechless is because he remembered what happened next, as we had Mark Henry and the Golden Truth.
God damn it. This would have been the perfect time for Goldust to do what he did 20 years ago.
That was fucking brilliant.
Jesus, oh my God, that was holy shit. This is why you need to subscribe to the LK Live, because this, oh Jesus fucking Christ, I can't believe they did that.
Last night was the best podcast I've ever been a part of. Okay, so we're going to give away a free sneak peek. Okay, so on the Raw we watched and reviewed, Goldust came out. It's just oh my God.
Okay, Brandon, I shit you not. I hope to God you remember this. Maybe you don't, because it's legit one of the most offensive things I've ever seen. Goldust came out in full minstrel style blackface makeup.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And I'm watching this, like I'm kind of eating at the same time, and I was like,
yeah.
Dude, how they did get kicked off the air for that?
Yeah, how did he not get fined until Oblivion?
Well, on a show where people get their penises chopped off and have the women, I guess a little blackface kind of went under the radar.
God damn!
No, the thing is,
you could literally
at the time period we were watching though. Yeah, but that's what you said. But at the time, there was none of the nudity. It was January of '98, so they hadn't really, established it yet. But that was hilarious. Anyway, so before the match, the Shining Stars tried to sell Henry and Golden Truth knockoff watches, and then said if the Shining Stars and Titus win, Goldust and Truth have to buy the watches. They tried, bless them. All six come in. The crowd are going to get popcorn and having a piss. Henry hits the world's strongest slam to get the win. It was too long and it only went 5 minutes.
It was the laziest world's strongest slam I've ever seen. Like they pretty much just let's put him where he needs to be, and then you just move him. This match was atrocious. It was bad. God bless poor Henry. Mark Henry, I don't know if y'all know this or not. I made this observation a really long time ago. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on the show. Mark Henry does not have eyes at all. Look at any picture of him. No eyes. It's just a cranial ridge that goes across. So I imagine he just senses by scent and smell. And he just I smell this. Let me go get him. Because he has no eyes. So maybe that's why they put him in his arms like that. But this match was bad. Everything about this match was terrible.
Brent?
Yeah, this was pointless, and it draws on something else that I find pointless because I actually watched the Raw pre-show. So Booker T was going on about, I think the biggest impact tonight's going to be Titus O'Neil. He has to shucky ducky. He's got to make an impact tonight. He's on Raw, and he was building this up. I was like, Titus O'Neil might do something tonight. What's going on with Titus? And then I saw that. I was like, what the fuck? What the hell was that? What's the point? Shut up, Booker. Come on, man.
To be fair, Booker's really good on those. Sorry to cut you off. I think Booker's really fucking good. He's found his sweet spot on the pre-shows. I think he's really fucking good at the pre-shows.
He's really good, but he kind of dropped a false hint there. I thought something was going to happen. Although he did mention the whole Titus grabbing Vince thing, which I did think was pretty cool. So he's like, just don't make an impact. Don't make an impact that way. Don't grab Vince. So they made a joke about that.
I'm going to give you kudos real quick. Your Booker T is 100% spot the fuck on. You'll have it perfect.
You haven't heard my Vince McMahon yet, so we'll get.
No, I haven't. Hopefully, we'll get there tonight.
We'll save that for there'll be a few things later on that are insulting. We'll get to. Jericho's walking backstage. Jericho shouts at Owens for coming out as he told him not to. They argue. Stephanie interrupts and says she wants them to be on the same page because of the 5-on-5 Survivor Series Raw versus SmackDown. The issue I had with this is they hadn't officially announced that she accepted the match yet. I guess that means the match is announced. No formal announcement, no nothing. No, we know they love their screen captures. Fuck me sideways. We know they like their screen captures. There's no screen capture saying it. So I'm thinking, okay, I guess the match has taken place. But I liked it because it felt like, okay, if you were the commissioner of Raw, you would want Jericho and Owens to be on the same page because you want your team on the same page. But at the same time, it's like, you haven't announced it yet, so the audience don't know the match is taking place. And later on in the show, they announced the match is going to take place. Mm-hmm. So it's just wrong way around. Wrong way around. Poor positioning on the fucking show format, like the fucking Cruiserweights. But overall thoughts on that. We'll start with you this time, Sammy.
I agree with you. I don't think their intention here was to say the match is happening. I think they wanted to be like, okay, well, the offer's out there. We haven't accepted it yet, but just in case. I think it was what they were going for, but it did not happen. Now, as far as the actual exchange between Jericho and Owens, I loved it. It was fantastic to me. It looked like, Jericho was genuinely pissed the fuck off. And anytime you can make the entire crowd go, ooh, you've done something right. So him almost calling him a stupid idiot, and it looked like Owens was. That's the biggest thing I liked about this is it seemed believable, and that's one of the things that's really hard for modern wrestling to do across the board on any promotion is make it seem believable. So that part I really, really enjoyed. What about you, Ranton?
Yeah, this is the interaction we've been waiting for a while. I did love, like you said, the spot where Jericho almost called him a stupid idiot, and then Owens is like, "Look, you can't. I'm not like these guys. I'm not like this. They started going back and forth about the whole, I'm a 6-time champion. I did this, I did that. The only thing I did not kind of dig, Stephanie. I didn't dig that. Because she took the focus off of that and then went to the whole Survivor Series challenge, which I thought kind of broke the momentum a little bit. But otherwise, the promo was good.
It's always the halls that ruin it. Anyway, Sheamus versus Big E. I would like to publicly apologize. I know I'm a professional podcast reviewer, hint professional. I did not watch this match as I was watching Mascarada Dorada versus Tigre Uno from Lucha Elite, and the finish came, and I was really into the finish, so I just thought, fuck it. Why the fuck not? So, guys, fill the host in on what the fuck happened in this.
Not much.
Sammy, you want to go?
Go right on ahead.
Oh, well, so there was some stuff that happened in this match. Most of it was before the match, though. So Sheamus comes out. Him and Cesaro are still doing their odd couple thing, and Cesaro got his cell phone, and he's doing Facebook Live, going to the ring. And Sheamus doesn't want anything to do with it. So then a New Day comes out, and they cut a promo because, remember, we're in Colorado. What's legal in Colorado?
They're gone.
So
Them left-handed cigarettes.
They went on this promo with every little reference they can make to 420, to being the Mile High City, and Sheamus, you must be high, and his name being Shame, and they just went on and on with all of these double entendres about, marijuana use, which I'm sure Vince McMahon was probably not happy about, but I'm sure Road Dogg was in the back going, oh, you didn't know? So it's all good. It's all good for Road Dogg. So they finally got into the ring. They hyped the match up for Hell in a Cell. Sheamus winds up losing on a roll-up. They got that on Facebook Live, too, because Sheamus started getting into it, and then it got silly.
The funniest part about it, the whole Facebook Live part, is there's one point in time where they point out that Cesaro's on Facebook Live, and I'm watching it because why not? I'm a loser. And he looks directly at his phone and goes, they're like, well, fuck it, look, Cesaro's on Facebook. And Cesaro looks at his phone and goes, I don't even have Facebook. Good job there, guys. You silly Swiss bastard.
It's how they do tag match builds to every pay-per-view. It's 1v1, and then next week it'll be the other one versus the other one, and then they'll do the tag match of the pay-per-view. Actually, no, they didn't do that. They're doing something even more idiotic when they're doing the actual fucking match they want you to pay for next week on free TV, and then expect you to buy the pay-per-view 6 days later. How fucking dumb is that? That is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking seen. This is the equivalent. How I say it. This would be like saying, okay, on Wednesday I'm going to do a NXT review, and I'm only going to give it to the VIPs. Okay, that sounds cool. But I'm going to give it to you for free as well. You're going to get it for free as well. Like, you don't, why pay for it? You can just get it for free. Always logic.
They do that a lot. They do that a ton, and it's irritating.
See, Dave would be mad at you right now because he used to rant on this all the time. You're like, they should do it where they have one tag team guy and another tag team guy have a singles match. And he said that all the time. He always wanted these matches. So
yeah, but the thing is, they listen to him now, and they do it all the Dave is not. He isn't where he is now. He's working for Vince. He is fucking us over.
Well, again, the conspiracy is still out there because, as far as I know I haven't. I know Boom Booms hasn't. None of us have seen Tajiri and Dave Koco in the same room. And Tajiri did just do the CWC. Just saying.
Possibility.
He's actually covert ops.
Yeah, they have the same hair now, so it's all good.
Exactly. just saying. Can't say that you've seen them. Like, I saw your brain go, God damn, that is stupid.
LK trying to come back from that is awesome.
Speaking of things I wish I didn't think or see, Bo Dallas versus Neville was next. We talked about Neville being the man that gravity forgot. It's more like the man Vince McMahon forgot we had. Poor man. Like, he came out, the crowd is... There's there's more cheer in a graveyard. Generally, there's more cheer in a graveyard. They come out. Neville hits a springboard moonsault to the floor. Bo hits a swinging neckbreaker of some kind. He gets the win. Poor Neville. And then after the match, Bo beats on my main man, Curtis Axel. Like, there is no need to hit on my man, Curtis Axel. There is no need at all. And I'm beating, literally, Curtis Axel, I love to death. I actually really, really like the guy. I am, apart from his mum, I'm the only person alive and his granddad, I'm the only person alive who actually owns a piece of Curtis Axel merchandise. I own a piece of his merchandise.
I was wondering where you were
better than perfect.
Like, you own a piece of his what? Oh,
okay.
Woo.
Yeah, he sends me his sweaty trunks. Shit, I meant to say that. Sorry, Kurt. No, what were your thoughts of this waste of time? Oh, fuck, I'm not used to having one. Rustin, you go first. I'm used to having one.
God. I like the overall result of the match. I didn't like the match. And number one, and you even noticed when you watched the match, you heard Corey Graves try to sneak in there. Neville took the title, NXT title from Bo Dallas. And then he went off on other things because this match is actually a rematch of the very first TakeOver main event where Neville took on Bo Dallas for the NXT title in a ladder match at the, I think it was, I forgot whatever they called it, Arrival, whatever it's called. So I was expecting a lot more from this match, but then again, I kept in mind that this is Raw and Neville and Bo Dallas haven't been doing shit for the last year. I tend to like the tongue-in-cheek Bo Dallas more than I like the boot and ass Bo Dallas.
I like the hurt Bo Dallas the most. He's my favorite.
Yeah. He was good. I like the aggression he showed in this match. It's definitely there. He's got the pedigree from it. He's the son of Mike Rotunda. Barry Windham's his uncle. Blackjack Mulligan's his, grand. He's got that pedigree. So I enjoyed that. I feel bad for Neville, though, that he is being so misused. It's time. Put him in with the Cruiserweights if you're going to do this with him. That's all I can say.
Yeah, they've got to now. Like, what are they doing with the poor bastard? Jesus. Sammy, thoughts?
It was bad. I don't like Bo Dallas at all. I do think I had seen Bo Dallas several times, and a buddy of mine had come over to watch Raw with me. And for some particular reason, this Monday night, I was hammered, just trashed. And Bo Dallas comes out, and my buddy's looking at him, and he's like, "Who's that?" And I looked at him dead in the eyes, and from across the room, apparently he yelled, "He sucks cocks." And that has been my thoughts on Bo Dallas ever since then. I can't stand Bo Dallas. And I really like Adrian Neville, so it was really fucking shitty to watch him get beat in a really bad match. And that's going to turn into a really bad feud that's going to get us a ever so slightly better bad match at the next pay-per-view.
But we might get a Curtis Axel face turn. 2 people might earn Curtis Axel merches then. 2 people might earn them. Oh, then we had Bayley versus Dana Brooke. Instead of building this for a pay-per-view, we should just give it away for free, why the fuck not? So Bayley's entrance is the first time I realized the crowd was there for around about 40 minutes. I'd give or take 40 minutes, the first time I realized the crowd were there. Dude, I don't give a shit. Dana Brooke won. The show at this point is literally draining me. Like, I can feel whatever it is in my brain just slowly go, like, just turning off. I'm doing everything in my power I can. I had the yellow monster drink.
No, we're doing yellow tonight. Okay.
I had the red cherry one that I usually like. I've got the Red Bull here. I've got fucking shit after shit trying to keep my ass awake. I watched some Lucha and I'm like, for fuck's sake,
it's gonna explode.
Dude, the thing is, though, the Lucha was preventing me from reviewing it because I missed the match. So I'm like, fuck, I've actually got to pay attention. And then it was just like, oh, my God. Like, Dana Brooke won. Obviously, we're going to get a rematch at the pay-per-view so Bayley can get her comeuppance. But why do I care? I've just seen this match for free. And you want me to pay for it? I don't understand the logic.
It would have been better if Dana would have cheated to win. And I've said this 1,000 times on the show, not all the time, but your heels need to cheat to win. Just going after Bayley, thumb in the eye, rake her eyes, use the ropes, hold her trunks, do something, cheat to win so that she won unfairly. So when Bayley does get her comeuppance, it's not that she just lost clean. She's like, I've got a reason to go kick your ass now beyond the fact that you just beat me. Because the match wasn't good, and it's very clear that as far as speed goes, that Bayley is way faster than Dana Brooke, way, way quicker. And she just could not keep up, and Bayley, for better or for worse, for the worse in this regard, wasn't going to slow down. So the pace was really, really bad for me, and then it's just completely forgettable.
Yeah. Well, here's where the problem I have with this match, the biggest problem outside of the botched ending, is the announcers, because Dana actually did cheat, because Bayley's foot was underneath the rope, and they didn't say anything. They were struggling. Remember, if you go back and watch the end of the match, they're struggling to get into position, and Bayley's like stretching her left foot underneath the rope, and the ref's counting it. And me and like 5 other people were like, "Are they not going to mention the fact that Bayley's foot was under the rope?"
They've done this before. Remember, they did last Survivor Series when Paige's foot was underneath. Because I was at that match, I was live when her was underneath the rope, and they didn't say shit until the next week. So let's hope they're not doing that again.
Well, that's the biggest problem with the announcer. I mean, you got what's the guy's name? Saxon, who's just
Byron Saxon, I think.
Byron, he's just a waste. And Corey Graves does his best, but he can't do everything. And this is something my new best friend Jim Cornette was talking to me
show
about.
The picture. Show the pitch. Sorry. Show the fucking pitch. Get the picture. I don't care how far you have to go. I want to see that fucking picture.
I got to go upstairs and get it. So I'll do it once.
Yeah, carry on.
I'll do it in the next break. Yeah. But he's talks about how I think it was him and somebody else were talking about how it's hard to watch sometimes because the announcers are supposed to be smarter than the audience, and when the audience is picking up on shit and going, "Hey, what about that?" and the announcers are kind of like, "Go look at the network," and next up, like, whoa, you're missing a key point in the match, and that's going to be a thing. That should be the thing that Bayley's going to do. I do think possibly we might be getting them doing a similar storyline that Bayley had at NXT where she lost a lot, and then she had to work because they got a long way to WrestleMania, which I'm expecting it to be Bayley and Sasha at WrestleMania. They got a long way to work up to that, so you kind of got to put Bayley down and work her back up because, like Sami Zayn, she works back best coming from underneath and being an underdog and building up to a title match. That's what I said about her last week.
Oh,
well, wrestling, you've got a little trip to make. Go have that trip.
I will go find your thing. Hold on.
Let's see the live. We'll carry on. So, Paul Heyman's live from W Studios. Heyman said the challenge was basically a rhetorical question and that Goldberg isn't worth the sweat off Lesnar, and asked Goldberg pretty much nicely to decline the challenge. I was like, okay, fair enough. Decent promo, but it was just, why couldn't he have been there and said that? I just wish he was there. It's like Heyman is the god of promos. I was just so upset that he wasn't there.
Yeah, that's
thoughts on the
only. Yeah, that was the only issue with the promos, that I wish he was in the arena. But even not being in the arena, he made it important. It was like, I can hear everything that you are saying, and I don't care. Like, he's saying it right now, probably the greatest promo guy of all time. And not just in giving them, but in teaching other people how to give them. He really is the best. So it really built up tension for when you knew Goldberg was coming in later in the night. So I was really happy with it.
Yeah, it was good. But I'm still glad that even though he wasn't there live, and I'm a bit upset about that, but at least he did it. Okay, now cameras off me. Okay, cameras off both of us. Now's this moment I've been waiting for a very long time here. Okay, so long time Internet Inventory members will know what this is. If not, you're about to be mesmerized. Rastin Rantin, show them.
Well, this story comes about, I met Jim Cornette, like I said, a couple weeks ago at a wrestling convention, and I wanted him to sign something. So instead of signing a DVD or a tennis racket, I went and got a picture of Vince Russo and said to Jim, be as creative as you can be. And his eyes lit up, and he wound up drawing this. Hopefully you can see it. This is the greatest thing.
Oh my god! That is gold. That is fucking gold.
The detail of the drool, the dribble of the cum, and yeah, stupid. This
Oh
is
my
this
God.
is a piece of artwork right here.
I'm sorry, but this has to be a clip of its own. I'm making this a clip of its own.
That was
Brilliant. Oh God, I need to recover from that. Jesus
that was
Christ.
fucking great.
He's
Damn,
probably
yeah.
the funniest wrestling personality I've ever met.
Oh, how can you go from that to this? Oh, Braun Strowman, fuck me, versus 3 local talents. A nice spot on this was when Strowman launched one of the guys onto onto the other 2 on the floor. And do you know we just did Vince Russo? These 3 men, these 3 men were trainees at Vince Russo's wrestling school, or that he's a part of it.
Oh my God.
At Rocky Mountain Pro. I think that's the name, Rocky Mountain Pro or Smoky Mountain, whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, you mean Cornette's Smoky Mountain?
No. Vince is working for a company called Rocky Mountain Pro.
Oh, Rocky
I'm
Mountain.
not on
Okay,
about
gotcha.
Yeah, not Smoky Mountain. I'm on about Rocky. But as a whole, fucking wrong side of the fucking notes. Strowman gets the win with the reverse choke slam. After the match, Strowman basically demands more competition. Sami Zayn comes out. They have a stare down, and then Strowman throws Zayn so hard he lands on the floor, and then leaves. I didn't mind that. I was a bit confused why Zayn's there, but they've got to do something with the poor bastard, haven't they? But at least they didn't use Joe and waste Joe's opportunity, which I'm dreading I was dreading for weeks that they're going to have Joe be the one who accepts this challenge and then waste that potential Joe versus Brock Lesnar that Sammy's been wanting for the past 4 months.
I'd touch a dick to see that. Let's just be completely honest here.
Oh wow!
I ain't going that far.
What were your thoughts on? We'll start with you, Raston, considering you went there for the last one. What were your thoughts on the match, and what were your thoughts of the Strowman and Sami Zayn stare down?
I'm probably going to be different than most people on this because, again, I'm old. But a lot of people are 2 things on this. Number one, the Strowman squash matches. A lot of people are, have an issue with them. Because they were in Colorado, I immediately remember. Oh yeah, I remember 1992 Big Van Vader. This is exactly the same stuff they did with Vader when Vader first came into WCW. He would just squash 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys. That's how they built Vader up to be a monster in WCW. So it's the same formula that we've seen before. So it's nothing new. I do like the fact that they put Zayn in here for 2 reasons. Number one, Zayn, like I said about Bayley, is best as being an underdog. This is probably the best thing you can do with him right now. He's not going to be in the main event. Plus, he can help Braun Strowman learn to work with a good wrestler. Braun Strowman's going to learn so much by working with Sami Zayn, and you're going to know whether or not this guy can really go or not if he works 2-3 months with Sami Zayn. If he goes, guy's green, he ain't going to get it. We know Strowman's going to be another great Khali. Maybe working with Zayn, he can learn a little bit more about psychology, how to sell, how to be a big monster heel, how to let the babyface get a comeback. Maybe he can learn that stuff by working with Zayn. That's what I think they're trying to do here with him, and I think it's a perfect thing for both of those guys.
When you say it like that, I'm a bit more interested than I was before, but just a little bit. Okay, that out of a scale of 0 to 10, let's say a 2. So good effort for trying, Blake. Good effort for trying. Sammy, what are your thoughts?
No, I'm with Ranted on this, and I'm much more of an old soul. I love these squash matches. I think they're great. I think they come to your because the problem is 2 of your fans are smart, but if you watch it like you should watch it, it's like this guy is destroying 3 people, so that's really awesome. He's a complete monster. And though again, we don't find out till a little bit later in which was a really short, but I thought a really effective promo. But Zayn coming out and challenging him, I thought that was great because he's the underdog. This is a great place for him to be in the underdog. He can, and just like Rant said, this is everything that I saw. He can work with my house shows and so on and so forth, and maybe he can be the real deal monster heel. So I'm pretty excited to see where these 2 are going to go.
Yeah, I take this as WWE investing in Braun Strowman and saying, look, we're going to try to make you, we're not going to great Khali you, we're going to make you a monster heel. They're protecting him instead of throwing him in there with Kane and Big Show and letting him be a mess. They're building him up as being a monster, and then now he can learn how to wrestle with Sami Zayn. If this guy might be good if he takes this opportunity and does what he needs to do with it.
We'll just have to wait and see how that unfolds, and I reckon in a few months' time we'll be able to talk more on it. There was a good backstage interview where the whore asked him, why did he pick a fight with Strowman? And then Zayn just goes, because no one else will. I like that.
I loved that.
Right.
I really, really liked that. That was great. Short, effective, to the point. It told you everything you need to know about Zayn's character, and it was flawless.
Right.
Speaking of flawless and speaking of whores, Lana comes out. She brings Rusev to the ring.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Take what Sammy just said, and now we're about to see the exact opposite.
By fucking far. So Rusev runs down his family, and I'm sat there trying to stay up. Reigns comes out. Lana slaps Reigns. Rusev super kicks. You guys have seen it for the past fucking 3 months. You know what happens. And one of the strangest things I've seen in my life happen. So Rusev gets the steps, puts him into the middle of the ring, puts all the effort of putting Reigns onto the steps, and then applies the accolade. How does it hurt more doing the accolade on the steel steps and doing it on the canvas?
Science.
Like, I don't like. You used all that energy to put Reigns on the steps, but he could have just done it already. Oh God. This is the same thing every week, though, gentlemen. It is the same thing every week. It's just brawl, and they just take it in turns to who gets the advantage. Next week, Reigns will have the advantage. It's just WWE's bullshit like they always do. Right. Thoughts, gentlemen? We'll start. Well, Sammy, you go first.
Fucking, I don't even want to talk about it. This was such shit. This was terrible.
Worst segment of the night. That was generally worst segment of that. That was worse. That was worse than a 6-man tag.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I would think. Well, first off, the whole segment went way too long. Like Sammy said earlier about the Sami Zayn thing, it was short, sweet, to the point, got it across. We had. First off, they spent 5 minutes doing this whole thing about Rusev's family to bore people, to get to the point when you played Roman Reigns music that people would cheer, and it still didn't work. They still booed him. It's God, it's like you got to give up on it. If you do that and people still do not cheer when this guy's music comes on after boring them for 5 minutes, it's not going to work. Now, LK and I know this because we watched a couple weeks ago. We watched Tully Blanchard on Magnum TA and their feud from the '85. And I remember tweeting out, I was like, I think what you guys wanted to do in this segment is this, because when Magnum and Tully did it, they were fighting, and they looked like they were fighting, and they were rolling around. You know, Magnum, Tully had Baby Doll, whatever. Same scenario here. This is the same kind of feud. You got a tough good guy, a tough bad guy who's got a female. The female is an object of ridicule for the face, and they're supposed to be fighting. But you never saw Tully setting up to steal the steps and then doing all this crap. No, these guys were like, no, I really hate you. And they're really literally throwing and rolling around and grabbing hair and pulling and yanking. That's what you want to do with this kind of a feud. You don't want to do the whole, hi, here's my family, and your family's Samoan, and what do they do? Paint their faces, and fuck all this shit.
Dip turkey legs in mayonnaise and hit coconuts against their head. Which, if you're not American, you're not that far off.
Yeah, that was a pretty racist spot. And what the fuck was up with Rusev's beard? What is this thing he's doing?
Terrible, just terrible.
What?
It's like his mustache is starting to be like, fuck it.
He must have fucked up when shaving. No way he didn't fuck up when. Then you had Emelina. Why they're calling her this, I have no idea. Like, speaking of whores, like there's a thread in this show of whores.
Just because Zack Ryder gets to bang her and you don't does not mean she's a whore.
Oh, Zack Ryder, please go a podcast where his name is not brought up.
Wait,
please.
Sammy, you didn't know that?
No, Zack Ryder's balls deep in her guts. That's awesome.
Dude, it must have been like 3 months ago. We were doing a show, and LK didn't know it, and I kept putting a screenshot of the two of them on. He's like, fucking shit.
Can we please not have a show where we don't bring up Zack Ryder? Like, it hurts.
I'm going to find a way on my Facebook that every time you send me a message, it does the woo, 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 just so somewhere I know you get mad.
Oh, God. So we have Carl Anderson versus Big Cass. Instead of writing a story, we just put 2 singles matches together to promote the tag match at the pay-per-view because we're too lazy to do anything else, quite frankly. The match bored me. Anderson and Gallows need to fuck off to New Japan again. They really do. Those poor bastards, what they do.
Gotta leave because they're not going to do shit. Well, as soon as they lost to the New Day for the second time, because I still stand by the fact they should have beat the New Day. If I'm them and I'll lose again, and it's clear that I'm just going to job to everybody in the fucking business, we go, pay us out. We're going back to New Japan where we can be something.
That's what I'll do. They're probably just waiting for their contract up and then fuck off. Don't blame them. But Kaz gets the win because, Gallows and Anderson don't win on TV or pay-per-view. They might. I doubt they even win at house shows, but
they're the Ascension. They're a slightly more appealing Ascension.
And that's actually, how dare you insult them by calling them the Ascension? Oh,
remember when the Ascension were good? Apparently not, because y'all were both dead fucking silent.
No. The one thing about the Ascension, too, that if I was them, I'd be terrified at, is that their replacements are already on NXT. The Authors of Pain, once they get up to the main, there is no point for you to have the Ascension if you have the Authors of Pain on the roster. None.
That's exactly the same thing with fucking Gallows and Anderson. Why do you need Gallows and Anderson when you have the Revival?
Yeah, but now there's Raw and SmackDown. Maybe the Authors of Pain could go on Raw and the Revival can go on SmackDown.
But if most of your fans are going to look and go, well, why can't I watch them? Because these guys over here are way better.
I don't know with the Revival and Gallows and Anderson. I think they're both equally as great.
I love Gallows and Anderson. I absolutely love them. But for the gimmick they're trying to pull right now, and I think Ranton said this before, the Revival is the greatest tag team in the world right now. And because they...
Arguably.
There's
a lot of people arguing about yeah.
Because they're going to say the Young Bucks, who are probably the most overrated tag team I've seen in a really long time. Oh, look, I can flip some Super Kids. I fucking hate the Young Bucks. Fuck the Young Bucks. Anyway.
She promoted on her own page here. I actually did put a video about that, asking that question the other week, and the comment section is hilarious with people arguing back and forth about it.
Actually, I don't mind the Young Bucks. I like the Young Bucks, but their Revival's better.
So you don't like them because they're not the Revival, basically?
No, I don't like them because they're kings of the cheap pops. They're just, let's get as cheap a pop as we can. They're talented, I think, when they decide to actually put a fucking match on, that they can put on a decent match. But that seems really fucking far and few between.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. I hate Kurt Hawkins because he was once associated with Zack Ryder. I hate Emma because she's married or whatever she is to Zack Ryder. It's nothing to be ashamed of. So we go backstage in the locker room. Kendrick cuts generally a really good promo. Like, I thought Kendrick fucking blew me away here with his promo. Really good promo. They were hyping a 6-man tag for tonight's Raw, as well as promoting the Kendrick versus TJ Perkins match at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Raston, what were your thoughts on the promo?
I actually, at the time, I didn't like it. I think in retrospective, I'm going to give it a pass. The main reason is because I saw how WCW created their Cruiserweight division, and they didn't do this shit. And I'm not a big fan. Again, I brought up before about I like it when you have an interview segment, a sit-down interview. I don't like the stage acting. Yeah, we got this. I don't dig all that stuff because it's just bad acting. Not like these guys didn't do good for what they were trying to do, but it just comes across as stilted. It's not organic. So I don't like that part about it, but them killing it in the ring, this is one of the matches I really did enjoy because they actually finally started doing some of the stuff that they can actually do as far as their talent. Of course, Rich Swann from here in Baltimore, my boy, Cedric Alexander, everybody else in that match, they were able to show who they were. It's going to take time for the Cruiserweights because they've got a lot of different personalities to kind of get those across. But I think you're just going to have a lot of matches, and those matches are going to have to be – they're going to tell those guys, go out there and kill it every single week to get that division over. Backstage segments, I don't think are going to get the Cruiserweight division over. But that's just me. I may be a little bit too critical on it, though.
I think, though, they help because it gives them character. Otherwise, to the public eye, they're just the casual eye. They're just going out there wrestling for wrestling's sake. Whereas now you can, Kendrick's the salty veteran and TJP's just... I don't like TJ Perkins. I think he, to me anyway, he comes across as an arrogant piece of shit. Like, I don't know if anyone else feels that. He comes across really arrogant to me.
I'm gonna dap on you right now.
Oh, dude, I fucking hate that. I hate that. Whoever invented that, go fuck yourself.
I have no idea. I'm way too just terminally Caucasian to know where the hell that came from because I just don't know. So I do got a couple points I want to make. I'm sorry, Mr. Baltimore. My Giants did beat you, and we had the worst call ever of all time.
Don't remind me about that game. Oh my god,
it was ugly. We won, and it was ugly. But fucking whatever. Another day. Again, I want to do some fucking football shows on here eventually, but that's another date for another time. That being said, I agree with you about TJ Perkins. Again, my buddy Funsize watched it with me. He made the really observant point about TJ Perkins. I actually really like TJ Perkins as a wrestler. His promo skills are hot-ass garbage. They're terrible. Terrible. I think he needs a mouthpiece or needs to be the arrogant prick that he comes across the point. Because he looks, and I quote my buddy Funsize on this, he looks like a rejected Street Fighter character, which he kind of is. But I really like him because even in the fucking CWC, he came across as an arrogant prick. That's what he should be doing. There's nothing wrong if that's what your character is going to be, but you got to do it. Don't try and make me sympathetic toward you just because you've got the belt. I think they should have turned him heel the second he got on stage, but I'm not making the rules. The promo from Kendrick was really fucking good. Because it's believability. That's the number one thing you have to give me in wrestling for me to like it is believability. And I believed it from him. The match itself, I thought was pretty damn good, honestly. I really, really enjoyed it. I agree with ranting here because, we're going through WCW right now. And back then, the Cruiserweights were on top of the world. They were one of the biggest parts of WCW. They got squashed a lot from the other people, but they didn't get over with backstage promos and stuff. They got over because of what they did in the ring. So I think they need to get over in the ring first, to LK's point, and then you can start showing us more of your characters. It didn't hurt to show us a little bit now because we kind of know TJ Perkins' character, we know Rich Swann's character, and we definitely know Kendrick's character. We have no idea who the fuck Drew Gulak is. We have no idea who Tony Nese is. We really don't know who Cedric Alexander is. And when you get to that 6-man match, there's an unhealthy amount of talent in that ring. But and still not a lot of it got to show through. But I did enjoy the match.
Just like one of you two said, you just need to give it a bit of time. And you did say about the Nitro show we watched on yesterday, and it was Psychosis and Hoovertude, wasn't it? And they just fucking blew the house down.
Killed it.
No promos, didn't barely speak English, and they went out there and killed it.
I don't think they spoke English at all, honestly.
Yeah, well, and that's just kind of, not to go too much counterpoint, but I think that's what made the Cruiserweight division work back then, is that it was a spectacle. You need to make it a spectacle, knowing when you get on, I don't need the stories, I don't need promos. These guys are going to kill it. So, I want to see these guys do some shit I've never seen before. And I think they really need to go that route. The characters will come in time, but you have to give people something to know when the Cruiserweights come on. It's something completely different, completely going to blow your mind, outside of them just changing the color scheme to purple and putting some decals on the mat. Yeah. It's got to be something more than that. They haven't hit that yet. Hit that first, and all these personalities can come out later.
It should be that when we see the purple, we go, we're in for a fucking treat now.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Then we had, we'll just jump straight to the 6-man tag. So it was only a Goldberg versus H video package. Drew Gulak and Nese versus Alexander, Rich Swann, and the arrogant prick TJ Perkins. Awful placement. Awful placement on this show. Awful. You couldn't have given them a worse spot. You couldn't have. I dare you to find a worse spot to put them in. They're there. The crowd are there. They wanted to see Goldberg. They've waited 2 hours and 45 minutes at this point, and then you put Cruiserweights out there. They're not going to care. They want Goldberg, not this. I'm sorry. Put Anderson versus Big Cass here, and then, because the crowd are going to respond to Enzo and Cass, fucking put this match where that was. Easy, simple solution. But no, they have to put them in the death spot again. Come on.
It's like they're setting them up for failure, and that fucking sucks. They're setting them up for failure. It's
like, Vince is like, now, right, I'm going to say it, and now, Ranton, you're going to do the impression, okay? So basically, Vince wants it to fail so that Triple H can say to Triple H, hey, look, basically, fuck you, the Cruiserweights are wrong. What you did was a one-hit wonder. I'm trying to do it. It doesn't work. You're an idiot. Thanks for nothing, dickhead. Go.
Look here, buddy. I'm telling you one thing. I know the business. I know the business of pro wrestling. Back in 1997, we did the lightweights. Nakamura, Makalaka High, whatever his name was, and Jerry Lawler's little bastard kid. They didn't do it then. And it's not going to work now. This is the WWE, the land of the giants. Big men. Roman Reigns. Rusev. That's what I want. Not this TJ Hooker or whoever this is. And Brian Kendrick, did not fire his ass like 5 years ago. Paul, I'm telling you right now, keep this shit on your NXT and full sail with those dipshits that are going to chant ole, ole, ole. I don't want to see this on Raw ever again. And if you keep putting it on, we're going to bury it. You put it on next week, I'll bury it again. Trust me, buddy. Trust me. No chance in hell.
We have our second clip of the evening.
Oh, God, that was glorious.
Oh, hit the glorious button there. Oh,
Glorious.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Then we're in the office. We have Mick Foley and Stephanie. They're finally announcing the Survivor Series match. Foley makes Owens versus Jericho versus Rollins next week. I thought they were going to make that on the pay-per-view, but who knows. At least they're promoting, I guess. And speaking of promoting, fuck me, how many 2K17 promotions did you see tonight? My
1,000.
God.
Oh, yeah. Money.
Jesus.
Now, I want to make one quick point about this as the whole segment was setting up for the Survivor Series stuff. Is it me, or with all the matches they're promoting, I feel like Survivor Series is going to be 6.5 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's 3,000 traditional Survivor Series matches. And especially with one that has 5 tag teams per, there's going to be like 47 people in the ring, Teddy Long style, and it's going to take 97 minutes for them to get a fucking winner out of that match. Like, we're gonna, by the end of Survivor Series, we're going to be like, oh, Jesus! Kill me! It's going to be fucking ridiculous.
I thought they learned from that, because like the first 87 and 88 Survivor Series had the 5-team on 5-team, but it was such that you couldn't see what was happening in a ring because there's so many people on the apron. The camera guys couldn't even see what was going on, so it was all overhead shots. I thought they learned from that, but hopefully we'll get quick eliminations, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon they'll do that. They'll definitely do that. That's what we have Zack Ryder for. I'm actually going to buy 2K17 tomorrow. I'm actually going to buy it. You actually? I'm going to buy it. And I hope I like it. I didn't particularly like. I haven't played 16 in over like 6 months.
No,
Generally, I have not played it, so I'm going to buy it.
Yeah. Same thing. Like we just get. I'll go buy it. I'll have a bunch of friends come over. We'll get real good beer drunk and we'll play it and have fun. Like that's what it's there for.
Yeah, when I see these people breaking down the trailers and breaking down the how to create a wrestler or how to create AJ Styles SmackDown attire.
Now, and just to play devil's advocate, because I do mostly agree with you, we do spend probably close to 20, 30 hours a week talking about grown human monster trucks wearing tights throwing each other around a squared circle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I like watching the universe modes. I think sometimes they can be good because they're quite creative. I just don't get the whole analyzing a trailer and things like that.
Yeah.
So next week they announced New Day versus Cesaro and Sheamus. I thought that was at the pay-per-view. Oh wait, it is. They just give it away for free because they're nice. And also Brock Lesnar's going to be here. So Michael Cole's in the ring. They have a video package of Goldberg's talk on the Sports Center interview. They have Heyman's promo from last week, and then they do Goldberg. He walks from the back. All the wrestlers are giving him a standing ovation. He has his vintage pyro. He takes a long time from gorilla to pyro. Words were said with Mr. Raston Ranton's sponsored Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Goldberg, you're next. When he came out, it was just like, you would never thought this would ever happen. I never, ever thought this would happen. And it was legit goosebumps moment. There was a very loud Goldberg chant. he just stands there and he just pours his eyes out, bless his cotton socks. And it's just
weird.
beautiful.
I've never heard that before. That's some weird British shit.
Bless his cotton socks.
I have never heard that. That is some.
There
It's like if I pull out some crazy Southern things, like, man, it's hungrier than a hot dog in here. It's hotter than a blistered dick in a tube sock. Like just some crazy ass Southern shit I've never heard. I love it. I'm a slicker on that one.
You got to use it's slicker than come on a gold tooth. That's the best one ever.
That's rough. Squeeze a penny into the buffalo shits. That's a good one. It took me like 15 years to figure that one out, by the way.
If you didn't get teary-eyed during that Goldberg come out, you're a liar.
Oh, yeah,
I'm calling you a liar.
Full on goosebumps. And again, I would have been really happy had we not watched that, but because we watched WCW, and I got to be a fucking kid again. And I remember because the Goldberg was my favorite. And I'm watching this, and I was like, oh my God, this is fucking Goldberg. And the 9-year-old in me was so, because he had the same music, and it was a pyro, and he walked the same. It was truly goosebump inducing, and I was so fucking excited because I never thought I'd see this.
No, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Because literally last night, like literally 24 hours ago, we were talking about, Goldberg, how awesome he is. He's one of the, fucking badasses of pro wrestling. You wouldn't want to fucking mess with him. And you were talking about how, like you just said just now, about being a kid at the time. And it was just brilliant. Like, holy shit. And I will allow "This is awesome" chants and not complain, because that was awesome. Okay, that's the time to chant "This is awesome." So he talks about the game, of course. Then he says he shouldn't. He basically was hinting that he should just keep it in the video game. The crowd chant "No, no, no." Goldberg then basically says he was thinking about just leaving in the video game, no one more match, until Paul Heyman challenged him, and he calls Paul Heyman a fat little stooge, and then says maybe he has one last spear, one last ass kicking, and one last deadly jackhammer. And Brock Lesnar, you're not just next, you're last. Puts the mic down. Brock Lesnar's announced for Raw next week.
Jesus, dude, this was awesome. I loved it. And like one thing he said to me that hit me in a rude way, because I'll say what he said and then why it affected me the way it did. He's like, one of the things this game got to do for me is that I got to be that superhero for kids again, and there's not enough of them. Because I remember me being a kid and watching him and thinking, like, yeah, Goldberg's a fucking superhero. He's unbeatable. He's a badass. He's super fucking cool. And then I think, because I'm a dad now, and, he's just a badass, but if Jack fucking watches, excuse me, well, my son name's Jack. Everyone knows that at that point in time. Sammy Sinister Jr., Jack, whatever you want to call him. If he watches him and he gets that same feeling, that makes me beyond happy. I have no problem with that being somebody he wants to see and be like, oh my God, that's super fucking cool. So that just hit me in a really weird way. I don't know if you had kids. I don't know if I've ever asked you or not, but that was really something cool for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And the one thing, and I'm sure Dave somewhere is echoing this to somebody. When Goldberg talked about being a hero for kids, I immediately started thinking about John Cena and Roman Reigns, and the big difference between that and Goldberg. And here you have a guy that organically, genuinely got people to like him, not just, and it's not some bullshit about, well, I have to do this for the kids, so that's why I can't be a little bit more edgier. Goldberg out there, he threw a couple asses and kicking ass, and the crowd started chanting holy shit and everything. He had, he wasn't, he didn't do that Cena shit, and he didn't try to do the jokey Roman Reigns shit. He's real and genuine, and people respond to that, both men, women, and children. That's what a hero does. It's not somebody who panders because I wear big, bright colors and I say stuff to the base instincts of little children. So that was the one thing. As far as the whole promo, it was a brilliant thing. I said to LK before you came on, Sammy, that it's such a Goldberg was not a big promo guy, but it is amazing that he is better than 90% of the roster now. This is an old school promo, a guy talking off the hip, sounds like a man, talking about man shit, getting into a fight with Brock Lesnar, and I'm going to kick his ass. That's what I liked.
Do you feel that it felt that way because he had free reign to say whatever he wanted. Because I felt like this came from the heart, and all this was true. Like it was genuinely heartfelt. So you think that had something to do with it?
I think it has something to do with it, but it's also just that Goldberg's stature, his ambiance, his presence he is a man. He is a man's man. He's got the voice. And he knows how to talk. I don't think if you gave some of these other guys the ability to ad-lib like this, that you could get this out of them. I don't think. I mean, love them all. Like a lot of guys on the roster. I don't think they have. You have to have that in you. You have to have that kind of thing where you know that you can fight and kick somebody's ass. And I'm not performing. I'm getting into a fight. You have to know that for it to come out. And I don't think a lot of some of the guys. No offense to them, they're great performers. I don't think that kind of promo can come out of somebody who doesn't have that killer instinct in them to be like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of somebody. If you don't have that, you can't fake it. And Goldberg's not faking it because he is Goldberg.
Exactly. I can totally agree with that. It felt real. Again, he was never, and we talked about this yesterday too. We have this idea of him today, and I attribute a lot of this to WWE slander, that we have this idea that he was a shitty, terrible wrestler, which he weren't good. Don't get me wrong. He was not a great professional wrestler. But the way that he carried himself and the way that he presented himself, and he was able to cover up any weaknesses that he might have had, that he didn't need to be the best fucking professional wrestler in the world because everything he did looked real. And like you said, he felt like he was going to get into a fight, and it worked. And that was one of the things that drew me to Goldberg when I was a young kid. And now fucking almost 20 years later, I'm just as giddy as I was when I was 9 years old watching him beat Hulk Hogan for the belt.
Right. And Goldberg is not incapable of having a good match. He's had some good, I think.
Oh yeah.
To me, still the best match he ever had was with DDP at Halloween Havoc '98. That was a brilliant match. They booked it brilliantly.
That was really, he's capable of having good matches. I kind of attribute it to WWE slander going, look at the William Regal match. Look at the William Regal match. Look how bad it was. And it was bad. Don't get me wrong. No one's going to tell you that was a good fucking match. Oh, yeah. But even, we watched it yesterday, and I told LK, he was better than they fucking give him credit for.
Yeah.
Did the Regal match happen before or after where we're at, Sammy, with the Monday Night War series?
Ooh, we're on January 98. I think that was before?
I hope so, because I haven't...
Yeah, no, it's got to be after, because Goldberg really didn't start getting there until... I remember Starrcade 97, he wrestled Mongo, and he was wrestling Stephen Michael a lot in December of 97. So if you guys in January of 98... you probably still have that match to come.
Okay.
Great.
Fuck.
See, that to look forward to. People
that shit's all up in my head. That is terrible. And I remember that shit.
Insane. Jesus. Who has the live comments up?
I've got them up.
Has anyone? Have you got them up?
Yeah, I got them up.
Go through questions. It's currently 5:32 a.m. My eyes can't take much longer, so just go through ones that are questions that we can all answer.
Okay, questions, just questions, ladies and gentlemen. Well, never mind, rant and ask that. Yeah, we're looking. Weird question, but I can't answer it. Franielli, whose name I always butcher, said, "Have you seen Dana Brooke's face on the new WWE game?" I have not, but if it's bad enough that you bring it up, apparently it's real bad.
All right, let me go.
Excited now.
Dana Brooke's WWE.
Oh yeah, go find that shit.
I gotta find it.
Yeah, he said he could just screen share it and then we'll put it up.
I hope I can find it.
There'll be someone analyzing that. Someone will be analyzing that somewhere, don't you?
There's really not a lot in the way of just pure questions.
Just read some out. Read some out. Let's get 10 minutes at least of some decent comment.
Okay.
They've stuck with us for an hour plus.
I am Mikey. Says Strowman versus Zayn has great potential to make 2 stars out of this feud if they build properly. I will agree with him, but I also have an issue with it because he says to build 2 stars. Sami Zayn should already be a star. They shouldn't have to make a fucking star out of him. Unless Vince has got some crazy long in the future story that we're not privy to, he should be one of their, if not their top babyface right now, because I still want to see for the belt, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens main event WrestleMania, because that will be the day I could die a happy wrestling fan. That would be the ultimate underdog story. That feud has been going on for so long that you could end it there. And it would just be perfect. It would be near perfect. But I do agree with you. I think if done correctly and they build it right, you could definitely elevate both of those guys. And like Ranton and me said, you could definitely see if Strowman has the potential to go the distance.
Yeah, they definitely got to get that. They definitely got to get that out of Strowman. And it's like I said, it's an investment and it's also a test. If Strowman cannot work with Sami Zayn, if it doesn't work, because Zayn's going to sell his ass off. If it doesn't work with Sami Zayn, it's bad for both of them. So it's a either they're both going to win or they're both going to lose.
It's definitely a gamble.
Well, fingers crossed they don't fucking fail. I'll be very surprised if Zayn doesn't get a good match out of Strowman. I'll be very surprised.
Hope so. Zayn is one of those guys that could wrestle a fucking chair and it would be entertaining.
It's insane. Any more comments?
I've got a few. Edward Mohan says, I'm tired of the club being treated this way. The club is so much better than this. I don't think you're going to get any argument out of the three of us.
Dude, you didn't say it right. It's Edward Mohan. Edward Mohan. I love it when I get live comments and their names are different, and I say every name depending on what country they're from or I think they're from with a different accent. It's really bad. And I'm sorry if I've ever offended anyone.
All right. Well,
yeah, but
I agree.
Sorry,
I agree. They're not going to get any fucking argument out of me. They should be treated better than this.
Exactly.
It's a travesty. I feel so sorry for these guys. Like, they leave Japan where they're getting probably decent money and they're getting, fame in Japan. They're multi-time tag champs. They come over to WWE and just get treated like utter shit. I feel so sorry for them, but instead they sold out at the end of the day. It's their choice to go there. They knew. You cannot tell me that was always a question mark.
But they're probably getting paid outrageous amounts of money.
Carl Anderson was getting $650K in New Japan, so I don't know how much. I don't know if he was getting paid. He's getting paid that much more in WWE. So, yeah, no, I know AJ's getting a slight bump, but it's not. The thing, and because I do look at a lot of the numbers sometimes, the thing a lot of people think is that they're getting this huge pay bump. WWE does not pay a lot of their guys. Like the top guys, even Cena's like $2-3 million. They don't pay them like that much money. In New Japan, you can make a pretty damn decent amount of money. I think AJ said he made. Yeah, AJ said last year, his first year in New Japan, he made more money in the first 5 months in New Japan than he did an entire year of TNA the year before. So there's a lot of money there. Those guys are like 400 to 800,000. I think Okada and Tanahashi are up in the million territory. So
to get some heat, you could definitely pay them more if you weren't paying fucking Brock Lesnar $12 million fucking dollars.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, but they want that. They're going to get that back from this Goldberg. The Lesnar Goldberg match is going to make them a shit ton of money. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
but we know that Brock's going to win, which is the only reason I'm not as excited as I should be, because Brock's going to win, and it's going to be a shitty Brock Lesnar match.
Yeah, but
I'm just waiting for when Stone Cold. I wonder if they're going to bring Stone Cold in this at all.
Oh, just so you know, Ranton, if Stone Cold gets involved, this guy right here, the Sammy Sinister, and LK knows this, I have a standing rule. If he shows up at a pay-per-view, or if I'm anywhere and I'm watching wrestling and I hear glass break, I'm getting naked. It's just going to fucking happen. It happened at WrestleMania. I had a house of 18 people, and I'm sitting there and he can, like, fucking, who was it? Shawn Michaels comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then fucking Mick comes out, and I'm like, oh, shit. And everyone that's privy to wrestling goes, oh, God. It just looks over at me. And then, I don't know if you've seen a grown man get fucking naked in legit under 3 seconds. But just like, I swear to God, if you've seen Bruce Almighty, he just goes, and I pretty much did that. It was like, Stone Cold! And it was awful, and it was fun. And so Stone Cold comes out, I'm getting naked.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because I don't think, and I'll ask you guys this, Goldberg's 49 years old, and Lesnar is He can work good matches. He had good matches with CM Punk. He had one good match with Triple H. He had the Hell in a Cell with Taker last year. He dragged Roman Reigns to a good match. He can wrestle good matches, but I don't think a 49-year-old Goldberg who isn't in ring shape and a Brock Lesnar who may be like, where's my check, can be a good match unless it's either really short or you put something else in.
Overbook it.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think you agree. If they were to do this match tomorrow night, it would be a shitty Brock Lesnar match. It'd be suplex, here's a spear, here's a jackhammer, suplex, F5, game over. I almost would put money on it.
But this is going to be a motivated Goldberg this time. A very motivated Goldberg, because he said your last. This is going to be his last match. Lesnar is going to F5 him to death. Hopefully not to death, but he's going to win. Goldberg's going to sit up, standing ovation, bye Goldberg, see you in a few years when you're back on the video game. Like, we won't see Goldberg again for years.
You'll see him at the Hall of Fame.
You'll see him at the Hall of Fame. The rumors that I'm saying are a couple things. I don't think, to Ranton's point, I don't think they will ever bring in Stone Cold in a wrestling position ever again. I don't think they're ever going to do it.
They should.
And honestly, they probably shouldn't, as much as I am a Stone Cold fan. What I am saying is that he will lose to Brock Lesnar, and then he will be the Undertaker match this year. So they can do the last WCW versus WWE match. He'll lose again. That's the end of Goldberg.
Undertaker can't walk right now, so I'm not sure if that's even going to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't think Undertaker. Yeah, no, I saw that. He's on fucking crutches. Yeah. Undertaker won't stop wrestling until he dies in the ring. It's gonna have much like Blue Panther, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
Atlantis, you old cock.
Any day now. He's probably dead right now, and he's gonna get like just woken up and be like, "Oh fuck, I got a match." Again, go subscribe. 99 cents a month. Go watch our CMML review because it's fucking great. So yeah,
Lucha Day's the best day. Lucha Day's the best day on Thursdays.
Yeah, the Hangout for Thursdays, those are definitely our Lucha days. That being said, I'm just really scared that this is going to be a shitty Brock Lesnar match.
I'm not. I'm generally not. I'm actually looking forward to it because it's going to.
I
know you can see it in his eyes how motivated he is. You can just see it in his eyes how motivated. A motivated Goldberg, and Goldberg can go to Lesnar. Look, this is my last match. I want it to be memorable. You know, think of the stinker we had 12 years ago. Prove everyone wrong who took the piss out of you while you were gone. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
I have no doubt that he's going to say that. But Brock Lesnar is going to go, I don't care, where's my check? I don't care, where's my check? I don't care, where's my check? Suplex, got my check, I'm bound.
How'd that work out for Dean Ambrose, who wanted to do something special at Mania, and Brock was like, no.
Where's my check?
I don't know.
Dude, I
think Goldberg has all the motivation in the world.
Yeah, it depends on if Brock has respect for him. If Brock has respect for a Goldberg, then yeah, maybe.
Brock had respect for Taker. Look what he went through. They had a brilliant match, Hell in a Cell. If Brock, I reckon they do. I reckon there's some respect there. I hope there is anyway.
I hope so, man. I'm just scared it's going to be a shitty Brock Lesnar match. I would love for this to be the end-all, like, shoot MMA brawl that it could be. Because I think as far as straight power and ability, because Goldberg teaches MMA right now. Like, that's what he does. He teaches MMA and he teaches Krav Maga. So there's no doubt that if it were an actual shoot match, Goldberg could probably keep up with him for a little while. Not forever.
No.
For a little while, because he's just got the age on him. That's the only reason I would say for a little while. Were they closer in age? I don't even think size would make as much because Goldberg was unbelievably powerful. It was
he was, but
how strong he was. Not anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you get older and you have a bigger guy on top of you, it's that much harder to get up as opposed to when you're in your 20s and 30s. He's almost 50. And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if the age gap wasn't as big as it is, I think Goldberg could handle him all day long. Even with the age gap, I think Goldberg can keep up with him for a little while. And since he is one of the few guys that can keep up with him in that regard, at least for a little bit, Brock might have respect for him, and he might be able to pull out a good match out of him. But I'm scared that it's just going to be a Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, suplex, finisher, suplex, F5 over. Write a $10 million check.
Sad state of affairs, but
That's agreed.
Yeah.
But let's hope not. Let's pray that that's not what it's going to be.
I'll pray to the wrestling gods it's not. But ladies and gentlemen, it's 5:45 a.m. I've got to hit the sack, gents. I'm sorry. I'm literally falling asleep on the chair. Jesus H. Christ. Wrestling Ranted, tell them where you can find yourself.
Well, you can find me at webchannel24.com/wrestling, RASSSLIN. That is my website where you can get links to Twitter, Facebook, everything else. New videos up this past week. I have a new format where I do short news clips every single week. Of course, as I mentioned before, one of the ones that everybody likes talking about right now, who is the best tag team in the world, or who is the best tag team on the planet, as Corey Graves calls it today, the Young Bucks or the Revival, depends on your style of wrestling. We'll see. Join the comments and argue with people as is going on right now on my comment section, probably as I speak. Also have the latest retrospective of the Great American Bash 1986, the very last run of Flair and Dusty for the NWA Championship, and lots going on there. And we'll have Wrestling Review coming up this week where I'll be answering some questions from you guys. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at Wrestling Rantin, RASSSLIN. And that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys in the near future. We'll probably have we'll be doing a news story about Paige proposing to Alberto Del Rio.
Have you watched that video? It is one of the most uncomfortable things I've seen in a long time. It is awkward as all hell.
And her daddy's reaction to it, too.
He was unhappy. He was this whole thing. When did she become trailer trash is what I want to know. Or maybe she was just trailer trash all along and we didn't know it.
She's been around Nikki Bella for 2 years. What do you expect?
Actually, she would not be trailer trash. She would be Euro trash.
Ooh.
Actually, no, she won't. She'll be a whore. Anyway. You can find myself and Sammy obviously on this channel. Subscribe. Also on the VIP section, it's slowly but surely starting to grow, and we're very happy and grateful for all the support. We do Monday Night War series every single week. We do a CMLO every week. We do NXT reviews. We do so much content for the VIP. So if you enjoy what you're watching now, and you're like, you know what, I wouldn't mind listening to this at work or on the way to work, get VIP, lkvip.podbean.com. Links in the description box below. Buy Dave Koco's book. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. I'm one tired-ass Englishman who's about to hit the rack. Fucking knackered. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well. Bye, Dave Koco's book. Don't get me talking about clowns or Zack Ryder, you bastard. Fuck you, Ryder. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be catching your asses down the line.